Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to pop on really quick. I did not get a chance to do a second reading on Nicola Bulley because I have had a few private readings that I had to get done. Usually when I have private readings, I try to get those up and out within a day or two. So those needed to come first, and I just finished my last private read for today. I'm running to the store. No post office today. It's a holiday here. I guess it's Washington's birthday or President's Day or something. I didn't even know it was a holiday, which is pathetic, but I didn't know. So I ended up gaining a day that I didn't have to go to the post office, but I do have to stop off at Staples and buy a couple of boxes and some shipping supplies, which I normally don't get at Staples, but I need something to hold me over. And we're running to the store really quick to get something for dinner, my usual daily run to the store. But I wanted to pop on and let you guys know that. And unfortunately, it does sound like I haven't had an opportunity to watch today's press conference on Nicola Bulley, but it does sound like it was confirmed that it was Nicola. So again, prayers to her family, her parents, her daughters, her partner, her sisters, everybody, co-workers. It's just devastating because I'm sure that they were hoping that perhaps she had just walked away and needed some time, because that at least meant that she was alive, right? So just awful. So sending prayers of support and comfort to them, and hope that they can get through this. They will, but it's an awful time. So, and of course, prayers to Nicola as well. Anyway, so I do want to do another reading because I was under the impression that she was not in that water. I did feel like water came out, and I felt like, okay, maybe it's not that river, but maybe it's another body of water. However, looking back on it, it could have been my own bias, because we're hearing that they've searched this river for weeks on end and they haven't found anything, to the point to where they had professional searchers come in, and he came out after the fact and said, she's not in the water where I searched. Now, I don't know if he searched the area that she was actually found in, but he was pretty confident that she wasn't in the water, and so was her partner, Paul. Paul came out and said he was 100% sure she was not in that water. So was it my bias of thinking that she wasn't in that water? Because water did come out. It's so hard sometimes. That's the hard thing. It's like we are human beings and we hear things, and even though we try not to let it affect our read, sometimes it sneaks in. So could she have been in that water? Maybe. I just have so many odd feelings with this case. I don't believe that she harmed herself. Number one, I don't believe that there's anything like that going on. All of the vulnerabilities that they talked about the other day in the last press conference before today's, when they said vulnerabilities and said they weren't going to say what those vulnerabilities were, and then they came out 2 hours later and said what those vulnerabilities were. That was unfortunate, because we all have vulnerabilities. I bet Rebecca Smith has vulnerabilities. I have vulnerabilities. We all have them, right? If they were to look into the deep secret lives of any one of us, if we went missing, God forbid, they might think that we unalived ourselves because of the crap that we're going through. And chances are 9 times out of 10 it would be incorrect. So I don't really feel like, because she may or may not have been struggling with this or that she just all of a sudden set up a play date and was taking an average walk around the river with her dog and enjoying the morning and participating in a work conference, and then just decides, what, I'm tired, I'm out. I don't believe that. I don't feel like this was anything like that. If this wasn't foul play, then at the very least, perhaps an accident, Maybe Willow almost fell in. Maybe Willow got too close to the water and it scared her and she went, I don't know. I'm thinking of how it is when I take Momo outside. And it's completely different. He's a puppy. He's not trained. He doesn't have any kind of obedience or anything. And I don't know jack shit about animals, right? I'm first learning with Momo. But when I take him outside and the leaves are blowing, he just goes crazy. He just goes, he goes anywhere out in the road, or, if he wasn't on a leash, he would go all over the place chasing the leaves that are flying in the wind. So was there something that grabbed Willow's attention and Willow, went chasing after something or something nefarious? Did somebody do something intentionally to get Willow's attention and Willow got too close to the water and that scared Nicola and she went over there and something happened to her? That would be the only thing I could think of other than foul play. As far as unaliving, absolutely not. I don't feel that at all. And then we know she was a good swimmer. And I know people are talking, this is what I suspect the police will say. I suspect the police will say that she was in the river the entire time and that there could have been an injury or sorts that made her unconscious and she eventually passed away due to hypothermia, and that's it. End of story. Close the chapter. That's what I suspect that law enforcement will say. Maybe that's what happened, but because we have no faith in law enforcement at this point in time, we are going to question that. And I feel like that's rightfully so, because it just is. It's questionable. This is a person who was very familiar with this area. She had taken Willow out many, many, many times before in her life in that area, her and her partner Paul. I'm sure she knew the dangers of the embankment. I'm sure that she was aware of all of that. And you mean to tell me this one day something happened and she just lost her footing? I just find it so unlikely. But anyway, I guess what I was talking about was the hypothermia. I get, we know she was a good swimmer, and it's possible that somebody could fall into water and maybe not be able to get out, or an undertow or something happens, and even if you're a good swimmer, regardless, you're just kind of stuck, and then after a few minutes, hypothermia, you go unconscious, and that's it. I guess that's a possibility. I just don't feel like that happened either. And maybe we are biased because we are watching true crime stories all the time and we hear crazy shit. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just are so used to, these unexpected stories. That's what we're expecting. We're expecting something, or we always look at the negative. We're expecting a crazy story or a twist of events or something evil. I don't know. Maybe that's a problem with us. But you have to admit, this is so odd. This is so weird. I dismiss unaliving. I don't think her partner, and that's just my opinion, I don't think Paul has anything to do with it. I don't think her parents have anything to do with it. I think that they were really, really, truly hoping that she had went off, because like I said, that meant that she was still alive. I do find it concerning the people who came upon her personals and Willow. Their stories have been different from one another, and we can't seem to get a straight story from either one of them. We don't know who found the phone. Was it Penny, the owner of the caravan? Was it her brother-in-law? Was it, who was it that seen, were you guys together? Were you out there on the same day but on different sides of the park? And I don't know. You can't get a story from either one of them. That bothers me. We know that Penny supposedly, allegedly, didn't like people walking their dogs off their leads. There were signs all over the place. In fact, she seemed if I do say so myself, she seemed really aggressive about threats, telling people that she would harm their dog if they didn't have their dog on a lead, because apparently she had chickens or sheep or something like that, which I get. You don't want your animals to be killed by dogs. I get that. But that just is like a tingle in the back of my neck, is this group of people. And I have a subscriber that has emailed me who lives in that area. And she told me that over there in that area, they don't really talk about the caravan people, that they're not part of the story. It's just on YouTube, I guess, that's where you're going to get the information about this caravan people. So I don't, why... And Rebecca Smith, the lady who's in charge of the investigation, during the press conference, when they talked about Nicola's vulnerabilities, they seemed very defensive of the caravan people. They seemed to be very much, these people who found these things have been very cooperative and this and that. There seemed to be like, why are you so defensive of these people? There's just something odd with the caravan people, and I can't shake it. Am I expecting evil when there's no evil at play here? Maybe. It's just weird. It's just odd. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've been asked to do another reading to see if perhaps Nicola, was placed, her body was placed there after the search. So, I'll probably do a reading on that. That'll be what it is the next time. But yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts on what's going on. I'm really, really weirded out by those caravan people, and I think that the whole story between Penny and her brother-in-law is just weird, and their actions, what they did was weird. If Willow had a tag on her collar with a phone number to contact, why would you then contact a vet or a school? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like the whole, and the interview, I'm sure you guys by now have seen the interview with the brother-in-law, where I think it was, I don't know if it was Sky News or Channel 5, but there were two journalists, a male and a female, who were walking the area, and they came across the brother-in-law of Penny. Now, they did not introduce him as the brother-in-law. It was Grizzly True Crime, who apparently has contacts that are close to the family or friends or something, and they've identified him to her as the brother-in-law to Penny. Penny is the owner of the caravan park. But in the segment where these journalists interviewed him, they just introduced him as, I think, Sam the dog walker or something like that. They don't say who he is. But he seems really uncomfortable in that interview. He seems like he wants to go. Like he doesn't, he kept saying, I've given my statement to the police, and, he just was very short on his answers. He didn't act like he wanted to be there, which I get, but is it that? Is it just natural? I'm uncomfortable and I've already did my due diligence and I want to go and walk my dog, or is it something else? Also, there was a time where they asked him what he did after he found the phone. First of all, that was the first time that we heard of anybody else finding the phone besides Penny, which is when all the confusion came out, because after he said he discovered the phone, he thought maybe somebody had went off to the toilet or something. So people were then like, oh, okay, so did he find the phone? Did Penny find the phone? And when they tried to ask him what he did then, his comment to that was, it just had a progression of events. So what is a progression of events? That's like 100, what is that? So what did you do specifically? Like, we want to know what you did specifically. Did you look around? Did you pick the phone up? Where was the phone? Did you then make a phone call yourself? Did you walk around the park and come back and see if anybody had returned? What are those progressions of events? And maybe it's not our business to know. Maybe he told the police, I would hope. But the police do seem very, very defensive and protective of these people. And that's odd to me. So if anything, I have issues with these people, and maybe it's just my own biasness, like I said. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Nicola was there and police missed her? Do you think that somebody put her there after the search? Maybe it's getting a little bit too hot with all of the media and they thought, well, we better do something. Do you think that you are going to be able to trust the results of an autopsy or whatever law enforcement comes out and says in the next few weeks? Are we going to be able to believe what they say? Can we trust them? And whose fault is it that we can't trust them? Is it their fault? Is it just our warped true crime minds? I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, just let me know. So I'm going to go in and get my few things, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. What's the date today? I don't even know. Monday. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys soon. All right, bye.